So today we're going to talk about how American abolitionists wanted to end slavery. This is Frederick Douglass. He's an American abolitionist, and today we're going to talk about him and more American abolitionists. We're going to talk about how they wanted to end slavery and how they didn't like slavery. Underground Railroad in the United States, a system existing in the northern state before the Civil War, by which escaped slaves from the southern side. The Underground Railroad included various routes where line stopping places were called stations. There were multiple of those. Those who aided along the way were called conductors, and their charges were known as packages or freight.
In 1619, the first enslaved Africans arrived in Virginia, one of their newly formed 13 American colonies. They had been kidnapped from their homes and were forced to work on tobacco, rice, and indigo plantations from Maryland and Virginia all the way to Georgia. According to the law, they had no rights and were not free.
How the Underground Railroad started. Americans have been helping enslaved people escape since the late 1700s, and by the early 1800s, the secret group of individuals and places that many fugitives relied on became known as the Underground Railroad.
The Underground Railroad was not underground, and it wasn't an actual train. It was a network of people, both whites and free blacks, who worked together to help runaways from slaveholding states travel to states in the north and to the country of Canada, where slavery was illegal.
No one knows exactly where the term Underground Railroad came from. Underground implies secrecy. Railroad refers to the way people followed certain routes, with stops along the way. To get to their destination, the phrase wasn't something that one person decided to name the system, but a term that people started using as more and more fugitives escaped through this network.
So the Underground Railroad were abolitionists, or people who opposed slavery. Many were members of organized groups that helped runaways, such as the Quaker religion and the African Methodist Episcopal Church, often called agents. These operators used their homes, churches, barns, and schoolhouses as stations. There, fugitives could stop and receive shelter, food, clothing, protection, and money until they were ready to move to the next station.
Frederick Douglass escaped slavery from Maryland in 1838 and became a well-known abolitionist, writer, speaker, and supporter of the Underground Railroad. He hid runaways in his home, Rochester, New York, and helped 400 fugitives travel to Canada. In 1826, Levi Coffin, a religious Quaker who opposed slavery, moved to Indiana. By chance, he learned that he lived on a route along the Underground Railroad. Coffin and his wife, Catherine, decided to make their home a station. More than 3,000 slaves passed through their home, heading north to Canada.